That's it. We are back again. We are live again. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't know what happened there. It just terminated. I was writing in the chat room and it terminated. So sorry to Patricia and to Mikey for that. Anyway, Mikey, as we'll start this hangout again, today is the 13th of February 2019, Wednesday. And you're getting quite a lot of attention right now with your car and your billboard. But just explain to us again, how did you get into flat Earth? And I'm not touching anything.
Okay. Yeah, let's. Oops. I gotta turn my phone off here. Let's try that again. So, okay. Yeah, well, just basically, going through all the videos like everybody else does, talking about, the moon hoax, NASA, and all these other videos we get into. I was huge into aliens. I even had a personalized license plate on my car that said alien. But after the fact of coming in tune with flat Earth, you just start to learn everything else is a lie. And you go from there, and then you start getting into flat Earth. And I was watching Jeranism videos, and I truthfully thought he had this huge Christian belief. And I kept tuning in because that's what I do. I don't judge people for their opinions on anything. I like to hear people's sides of the story and, go from there. So after a few days or a week or whatever it was, I kept watching his videos. He was doing those laser tests or measurement tests, for 8 miles, 8 or 10 miles. And I'm just like, I kept saying to myself and to the videos, like, but it's only 8 or 10 miles, because I didn't know anything. I just kept saying that. I'm like, oh, you got this crazy belief. And I didn't know where to go with that. And then after a few days, I kept looking into it. I saw other videos up there on YouTube and went from there. And then I started thinking, like, okay, so if these people are still talking about flat Earth, what's going on here? I live on a 3rd floor building, apartment complex.
Get a good view from there then.
Yeah, I get a good view from here. So then at that point, I start saying, okay, so I got my own eyes, obviously, so I'm looking outside, and I can do that right now. I'm looking out the window, the door, and okay, like the horizon is flat. I'm like, okay, now I'm seeing flat, and I'm like, okay, now I'm standing out on my balcony, and I'm like, okay, I'm not moving in any direction right now. I'm not driving anywhere. I'm not walking anywhere. There's no wind. So, okay, are we spinning or what's the deal? And then I started thinking more and more as the days go on. Okay, well, let's start watching more videos here. We got to get more info. I need stuff my brain with more info here. You're running into more videos with people doing the P900 tests. And I'm like, everything I see on YouTube, I don't care what it is, I automatically assume, okay, are these guys faking it, Because you can easily do that on your own computer. And then I'm like, okay, but some of this stuff looks pretty real to me. And so then I saved my money and I bought my own P900. And I came home, I was just ecstatic. I'm just like, oh my God, now let's do the science. Let's do the experiments ourselves to prove what the heck I'm watching on YouTube. So I step out on my balcony one morning. I think it was early morning before I went to work. When I was working for a disposal company, and there was the star there, and I zoomed in on it, and I was like, you can hear me on my video. It's on my YouTube channel. And I'm like, I whispered to myself, I said, are you kidding me? Like, I couldn't even believe myself what I was recording with my own camera. I'm like, what the hell is going on up there? And right from there.
You didn't notice before?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're just white lights in the sky, or yellow lights, according to us. That, of course, that's what we were told, and they're trillions of light years away. And I'm just like, what the heck did I just record? And I'm just like, after that, I was like, okay, something's weird here, and you just start thinking and doing more experiments. And then you're like thinking, and lots of people say here, even in Saskatchewan, where I'm from, we have always said that Saskatchewan is flat. Whoever lives here says that Saskatchewan is flat because it is. We have no mountains. We have little valleys, and that's all we have. The biggest hill here is probably an anthill. You know, like it's that crazy how flat it is. And people don't listen to themselves when they say that. You know, the joke is we can see our dogs run away for 3 days. And there's no doubt about that. I'm pretty sure you could, you know, because it's freaking flat here. And then after that, I just kept watching videos, and I wanted to get a YouTube channel up because I was watching all these other people have YouTube channels. I'm like, you know what? I don't know enough about flat Earth to be talking about it yet because I didn't want to make myself feel like I didn't know what I was talking about or somebody ridicule me. And I'm like, okay, let's watch Globebusters for 6 or 8 months or 10 months, and let's get some more info here. Let's get people's opinions on things and how we think the stars work and the moon works and all this other stuff. And then let's get out and do a YouTube channel. I started doing that, I think, in March or so. And ever since then, I've been loving it.
Just to, you were explaining me before, you showed me before we came online that you got thick snow outside your window. But in the summer, you said it gets up to 35 degrees. You're that far north and you can get that hot. There's something, they're lying.
Yeah, supposedly far north. Of course.
Yeah.
all the maps are wrong anyway, so I could who knows, this could be the North Pole and we don't know about it. I'm not far from the North Pole. I'm pretty sure I could probably drive there in a couple days, or less. It's not far in relation to the map of Canada. You can drive north to northern Saskatchewan, where I live, probably in about 10 hours. Then you'd reach Northwest Territories, and that's like almost on top of the ball if you live on a ball, like literally on top. Like it wouldn't take much to get there, that's for sure. And if we're reaching 35 degrees here, a good friend of mine who lives not far from me, his theory is that in order to get over to the other side of the plane to Russia and whatever else is over there, he thinks we're connected through the North Pole, and that's why we're prevented from going there, because the land mass may be even connected and we can just basically drive there or walk there if we could, because if it's 35 degrees here in the summer, it's got to be warm in the middle, because I'm not far from the middle of the circle, like the middle of the pizza.
I
I'm not
far
far
they
from
showed us any pictures of your area. They're just going to show snow, aren't they?
Alaska, yeah,
snow.
Exactly.
It's also very cold. So does Alaska get quite warm then?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they do in the summer, yeah. And that's pretty far north from here too. So, that's a good question. I should look that up.
Whoa, there's something very strange there, isn't it? If you can get to...
Yeah, because in relation to Alaska, that's further, that would be at the Northwest Territories border. So if I reach the top of Saskatchewan on the ball, you would have to go even more north to get to Alaska, I think, on the map. And so that would be further, that would be almost in the center, like on the globe.
Yes, because people have to remember there's a place called the Alps, and that gets really snowy and cold in the winter. People ski and stuff on there. But of course, either side of it is two hot countries in the summer.
Yeah. See, if I'm just bringing up, oh my God, is that ever? Holy cow. Okay. So if Alaska, I don't know what the summer temperatures are in Alaska. See, everything's just messed up there's no continent is right. It just can't be, because I'm looking at our country, Canada, and if I go further north, another 12 hours north, and turn to my west, I'm going to go drive to Alaska at some point. Now that's 12 hours north of me yet. I'm going to be in the center of this place where you live pretty damn soon after that. If Alaska reaches 20 degrees Celsius in the summer, North Pole is growing roses, if you ask me. Like there's green fields.
I was a bit shocked when I did some research on Greenland, and I know that they were showing us the summer, but in the summer they can get temperatures at about 25 degrees, and they have a summer, and they're out in their shorts.
Yeah, that's basically the North Pole right there. If you want to consider, if we can go as close to Greenland or as far north in Greenland, that the next position is going to be the North Pole.
Well, can I tell you something else then? Can I tell you something else that makes me believe what I do? Anybody that talks about the stars and that in America, usually, I'm not saying where you are, but I'm talking about Arizona and that, the Big Dipper appears and it's really stretched out in the sky, and then they lose vision of it for a while as it dips below the horizon and then comes back up. And when I had to go to Denmark, which is supposed to be more north than me, I had to go down the garden and sort of go into a field, and then I saw the Big Dipper. It was still quite big, but wasn't going around her house. It was going around a field over there. For me, it goes around my house. So it means that I have to be more north than, obviously, than Arizona and Denmark.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
even in Lithuania, they go to the beaches, and a couple of people put comments on there that they were even more north, and they still go to the beach in the summer. And if you looked at the pictures of the Baltic Sea, you know, which is supposed to be looking up at the North Pole sort of bit, they only show you ice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I just want to show people I know people can do this by themselves, but if you look at where my pinpoint is in Canada here, that's where I'm located. Now you go to the northeast of that. I'm back to that freaking thing again. Hold on, I'm gonna get this working here.
It's your turn now. I'll hang out, so it's your turn now.
If you go northeast there, you're gonna hit Greenland pretty fast. You know, and if you go any further north, you're gonna be in the center of this place where we live. You have to be. Now, if I'm reaching 35 degrees temperature, and you're even saying that Greenland even goes 20, 25 degrees, the North Pole is like literally an inch on the map from Greenland. So what's going on here? You know, like the North Pole is not cold. In the winter, sure, because I'm cold. It was minus 45 degrees here last week or in the last couple of days. So if I'm minus 45, the North Pole's got to be 55 or 60, which is okay with me because, I'm cold, so should the North Pole, because I'm that close to the center. But if I'm reaching, we can easily reach 35 degrees Celsius here easily in the summer. In June, July, August,
do you know lots of other Canadians that you can link up with that live in other places and just see what their temperatures are?
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, I should do that over the internet. Yeah.
It is quite incredible, isn't it? Because you're not like near America. You're quite north, and you know, like to us, when you see pictures of that part of Canada, it'll always have snow on it.
And I mean, you know, go ahead. Sorry.
At the moment, haven't you? It is quite cold. It's minus, what was it? Minus 20 or something.
Yeah, 25 or something. But that's okay for here. We're not panicking. And in relation, another thing too, what I haven't forgot to mention that on my channel is when we talk about north in the summer, the sun sets here or goes away like at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Like we still have light until 10 o'clock at night. And as that sun is going to the northwest, as it's setting, you could wait probably another hour and you could see light in the north. Like it looks like the sun is setting in the north to me. Like I can face straight north and the sky is still lit up at 11 o'clock at night. And
I just say we have the same. I don't know about the summer for you. In the winter, we get literally about 6-7 hours of light. It's dismal. But in the summer, you know, for the solstice, we're actually getting light about 3:30 in the morning, and
for sure.
The last piece of light is going at about 11:30. But also, when the light comes, it isn't east northeast. It's actually on my compass in the west as well when it's getting light, and then when it gets dark, the light is still covering over to the east.
Yeah,
it goes
exactly.
Past north. It goes past north here. So I understand what you're talking about. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so I hope
if you were looking straight down at a clock, at a normal clock, the sun would probably rise at probably the 2 o'clock position in the summer, like right in end of June, middle, like beginning of July, it would be like at the 2 o'clock position. And then like obviously, and right now it's coming closer, but late December, early January. Well, yeah, on the 26th, when the sun, or the 25th, I should say, when the sun starts to come closer, that sun is like 5 o'clock position when it's coming up in from the sunrise. Like there's a huge sweep of motion that sun is doing. But what I want to do is, at some point, get people in the South America or southern states to get to the point of where it stops, so we can make it 2 straight lines, and figure out what the distance that the sun is actually moving in miles in relation to the north to the south. What is that exact mileage in between, like, what do you call it, the summer solstice and the fall, whatever it is,
The
yeah,
winter.
Maryland did the test there when the sun
Yeah,
reached
so my daughter's
the
making a bit of
equinox
noise
there.
in the background.
Yeah.
Marilyn's in the chat room right now
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
because she did a sundial test the other day. She recommended
Yeah.
everybody should do a sundial experiment.
That's very interesting. You got me thinking
But again,
about that.
when you start monitoring it all, it sort of does freak your mind a bit, because I wouldn't even say it comes up at 2 o'clock. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, that thing's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like, that circle, and the thing is, we have to understand how that circle,
Right, just to explain to everybody, what he means is lose a clock, but obviously 1 to 6 is east, and then 6 to 12 is west.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
just saying on a clock it comes up, but I'm saying 12:30, 1. It's that north.
Well, I wouldn't say exactly the sun comes up that far or that close. I would consider the light or the glow or the electrons from the different gases up there light up. I wouldn't say the exact sun, because when the sun is set here in the summer, you can still see the glow in the sky at like literally the 12 o'clock position. Because I was coming home last summer from dropping a friend off, and our highway runs exactly east-west. And I looked to my north and I was like, where is the sun? I was so confused. I was like, why is the northern part of my sky lit up when the sun just set to the west? And I'm just like, what's going on?
Something else as well. If you go to Denmark, you can see a midnight sun.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, you don't see it in Scotland, but if you go to the Orkney Islands, which are just above Scotland, they see a midnight sun.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know something? I'm none of the maps are right, but in a perspective, whether the sun was coming towards me, it wasn't going right to left; it was going left to right.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't see it like in the daytime. Otherwise, it would look like in the daytime. It looks kind of like a moon with clouds around it going across the sky.
Okay, yeah.
But it still lit the sky up a bit. But I was like, wow. So if you can see that in Denmark and you can see that in the Orkney Islands, why can't you see it in Scotland?
Mm-hmm.
And then we did panoramas. Me and my friend Malk Chatters, who comes in the chat room sometimes. He lives in Scotland. And in the summer, they have light for another hour than us. And it's very distinctive because we'll be dark and they'll still be light.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I did a test with a buddy of mine too. He lives 2 hours north of me, about a little over 2 hours north of me. And we did a test. We were texting back and forth, taking pictures of the sunrise. And the sun rose here like almost 45 minutes sooner than him. And he's literally 2 hours north of me and I would say half an hour west. But he's within the same province. Like he would be literally like an inch and a half away on the map. And it was 45-minute difference between my sunrise and his sunrise.
The only thing with Australia, because I said to you before, where the guy from Australia, Brett, reckoned that maybe actually we were south of Australia. But what it is absolutely the other way around that they get everything. So the sun has to be high in the sky and in the north for it to be hot. But the sun has to be low in the sky and south for him to be hot. So it doesn't go high to get hot. It has to be low to get hot for him. Whereas for us, it has to get high in the sky for it to be hot here.
Oh,
so how about
yeah.
that? I mean, what is all that?
That's interesting too.
And their sun is definitely south of Capricorn, so that's a bit like he's someone else that's done a bit like you, started to look, and it's blown his mind what he's seeing.
Yeah, yeah. And then again, like even I've done tests, and lots of people that have done tests, that sun does not go up or down whatsoever. It goes from the left to the right. It'll go literally across the screen just like this. Because I always use trees or lampposts to fix their position, for a reference
What, you
point.
mean a bit like half a triangle?
Like no. Like if the sun's coming up and like for the morning, the sunrise, it comes and goes from like if like if my pencil tip point was the sun. If it's rising, it's literally going like this across my screen on my TV as I'm recording that sunrise. It's not going like this. Nobody sees the sun go like this. It's going like this across the screen. It does not go up and down. Again, it's with our perception. It's coming closer to us. It's not
Do you know
going
what my son does?
up or
My
down.
son, right? I have to use, because it isn't quite, it's only a perspective from where I am, but the house is next to me. It has to get to that track. So it'll either come up south or in the middle or north, depending on where it is in the season. It'll come across the sky like half a triangle. It always has to go to this track to go past these houses. The sun never goes over my house.
Wow.
Excuse me. But it does like a half triangle thing.
Mm-hmm.
It never goes, if it comes up north, goes straight in a line and straight across and off. It has to go across my sky to the right and then pick up its run and then go past west.
Interesting.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? We don't even get to see the same things.
Yeah, well, it's like everybody says, it wouldn't matter if somebody was standing right beside you. They're going to have a different perspective of whatever you're looking at, and it's true. You go down 100 feet from somebody else, you're going to see something different. You go 100 feet higher, you're going to see the horizon rise. You're going to see a whole new perspective of the person below you at 100 feet or 100 feet below you. And it's that much of a difference. You'll see everything different.
Anyway, after that bit of talk, which we can get back to, tell us what's been happening to you lately. What did you do?
Absolutely nothing. No. No, I've been quite busy. David, flatearth101.com. He is an amazing man. He has sent me a couple of banners for the rooftop of my car, because I had this ingenious idea at the Denver conference that I wanted to. My car is kind of a multi-purpose tool for myself. It has an awesome roof rack on it with swinging rails on it, so I was like, well, what can I use this roof rack for? We need to use it for flat Earth. Let's get a big billboard up on it. And David, he just about pooped his pants. I think he was so excited. He's like, hey, we need to figure out every week or every few days. He'd be like, okay, you got something going for this banner yet? What kind of pictures do you want? What pictures? How do you want to lay it out on these banners? I'm like, holy cow. And so, yeah, we just get it all set up. And he sent me the banners. I think I got them like a week and a half or a couple of weeks ago anyways, where it took me a couple of weeks to get the supplies all together. And then I built the billboard inside my little apartment here. It was kind of a disaster, but I got these banners up on my car and started driving around the city. And I think one of the first places I went to was one of the local radio stations here, 98.9 Z99 here in Regina. And Marilyn always gives me the idea of going crazy with the horn, so that's what I did when I got into the parking lot. And they're like, I think there was 2 or 3 of them taking pictures with their cell phones out the second floor window of my car, and I'm like waving. And within, I don't even know, at least a few hours, there was a post of me on their website, on their Facebook webpage, and there was like post after post after post of different locations of my car that was taken even back in November, because I've got stuff written all over my windows like NASA lies and the Earth's flat on the back window, and people are always taking pictures of my car. And there must have been, I don't even know how many pictures, like at least 10 pictures of different locations of my car in the city. And I think the next morning I woke up, there was like 45 notifications on my Facebook page. I was like, woo! Yeah. I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, that's what I'm
You said
doing
to me
now.
when we were first talking that people are more awake because they're beeping or they're
Oh,
waving to you, but that doesn't mean they're doing anything like we are, but they're still
yeah,
going thumbs up.
yeah, exactly. I've been driving around, and there's been some people that have been laughing. Lots of people give me the thumbs up. You know, they'll roll down the window, give me, a few words as we're driving down the streets. And there are more people than we think. I know there's thousands even within your small community. It's just, again, nobody wants to talk about it. But if you start to talk, I know there's going to be somebody who will be listening, because even when I went out to help my friend I did it again today. I had to boost his car and was trying to do it yesterday. We sat in one of the local restaurants and just talked about flat earth. It must have been 45 minutes because she was so questionable and questioning my supposed theories on flat earth. I said, well, here's a pamphlet. So she started reading that pamphlet. We all pass out. She's like, okay, well, how do you explain this? Well, how do you explain that? Okay, well, what about this? And I'm like, okay, but here's some logical stuff here we can think about. Why we called it the horizon is because it's horizontal. And she was thinking and asking questions, and it blew her mind away. And I showed her some videos from my YouTube page channel, and she's like, I showed her a video of a star with my P900. She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. And we'll both know, And I told her, I said, it's electrical or it's water or something's going bonkers up there, But nobody's telling us what it is because we got to figure it out for ourselves. And she was just, yeah, at least 45 minutes. And then again, this morning we were talking about it, It's just, there are people out there. We got to, I think us as flat earthers, like Marilyn, we got to be out there just screaming it out, literally screaming it. I don't care about the ridicule. People can laugh at me all you want. Some guy gave me the herk-a-jerk motion the other day when I was driving with my friend. I just laughed at him. I'm like, that's all you got for science is to do this motion? I was like, are you kidding me? That's all he had to do. And I just started to laugh. I'm like, get real. Let's do some real science here, And then so that's what I'm doing.
Take no notice of these people because they think that they're saying, "Oh, you're an idiot," but they're the idiot.
Yeah, very true. And so, yeah, and then other than that, just driving around the city, and it's excellent. What do you want to call it? Advertisement. Even in the back parking lot here, I have security cameras out in the back here, and I was watching the cameras the other day, and some guy even pulled up to the side, stopped. Then he went around to the other side. He even walked around the car. He was actually taking the time to read the banners on my car. Like, he just didn't drive by quickly or stick his head out the window. He's like reading. Then he would want to go to the other side, reading. So he took the time to look into it because what else can you do? It's either you ridicule it or you look into it. And that's what you have to do. You have to look into it to know where you live and what you've been lied to about. It's not much.
You like a salesman. You see someone looking and you pounce on them and then ask them some questions.
Yeah.
Just let them look.
I was even going to jump off my third floor balcony. I was just, hey, you want some information? No. I was going to run down the stairs, but I was like, I'll let that one go. But I've been handing out flyers and doing what I can for it, and then again, even in the very near future. Again, it's on my webpage at the activist site on Flat Earth 101. I'm trying to raise money to get to Vancouver for the street activists or the Flat Earth Mobile from Regina all the way to Vancouver is an 18-hour drive, and I'm going to be leaving here, I think, on the 22nd-ish or so. I get my dates right here, or on the 21st actually, to drive to Vancouver, to arrive there probably the 22nd, which is a Friday afternoon sometime, to meet up with Flat Earth Fokker. We talk and communicate, once in a while on the internet and on the phone. And he has a Flat Earth meetup on the 24th that I'm taking part in, and will be just spectacular. I'll have the Flat Earth mobile car there. David will be all excited about that, and we'll have Mac there. We'll have 2 YouTube streams going.
You stopping off on the way with the car, like on purpose?
Yeah, and stopping off at we'll stop off in there's like the cities that are over here. There's a city called Swift Current. We nicknamed that Speedy Creek, but it's called Swift Current. And there's Medicine Hat, and then there's Calgary, Alberta, which people may have heard of, and then all the towns, and well, not all the towns, but we'll pick out some bigger communities in BC as I travel to Vancouver. And so we're going to do that, and take the I'm taking the example from Harry from Global, because he put in the time and effort and the amazing work to do all that traveling around for the, what was it, 8 weeks or something, 6 or 8 weeks or something like that, whatever he did. And he ran into complications with his vehicle, so people helped pitch in to help get it repaired. All these complications. I'm only asking for gas money because I've got a very reliable vehicle that could easily make it to Vancouver, even if there was a blizzard or two in between. But yeah, so I'm hoping that people can help me get there and back just by supporting me with some money, with some gas. That's all I'm asking for. I'm going to take receipts and keep track of everything for everybody. And I'm out there doing the work for all the flat earthers and the community, and spread the word. And hopefully maybe there'll be even like a few news people might be interested, because I'm not going to just go to the cities. I want to go to the main points, the radio stations, the global news, CTV, whatever other newscasts.
What, you're going to park up outside?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't, and like I said, I'll pull up in front of them if they want to laugh and do whatever they want to do at me. Go right ahead. But my banners are not going anywhere off my car. If your eyes are reading my banners, my job is done. That's all you have to do. Oh shit, flat Earth. Oh, now what do I do? Oh, now I'm brainwashed. Now I got to go research flat Earth now. And that's good. Go bye and try to disprove me. Go right ahead. And I'm waiting to go to the bank actually. I'm trying to get the courage to see if this will work. I want to go to the bank, and I want to get a promissory note for $100,000 and approach this government here in Saskatchewan. And I want to ask them to provide me with some proof of where I live. And I'm going to provide that promissory note for $100,000 if the bank will allow it, which they probably won't. But we have to take this to the next level. We have to get money involved, whether it's bets, because we're all going to win. It doesn't matter what the bet is. So I wouldn't be worried about losing money. Like if you bet $5,000, you ain't going to lose the $5,000. All of us know that. I don't care how good you think your freaking CGI crap is. We've got to get out there, and we need more people with banners, signs, whatever it is. Anything. We got to get out there and do it. So when I get to Vancouver, that'll be the most exciting part ever, because the journey there will be just spectacular. I'm going to go live a few points, for 3 or 4 or 5 points for an hour or so on the way there, so people can interact with me. I'll make some videos on the way there, what I'm doing, keeping in touch with the subscribers, and just going from there. It'll be exciting.
It is.
I'm running out of breath here.
Oh, what are your friends and family like about you being a flat earther?
That's another topic. Okay, so the friends are good, because they know I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm very, very clear-minded, due to the non-substances that I've not encountered over life. Not smoking or drinking or doing drugs. I've never done any of those. So I'm very clear-minded, so I'm not plugged up with anything. So whatever it is that people have to talk about, I listen to their issues and then I try to deal with them and give my opinion. So I think my friends basically sit there and listen to me. I don't try to jam it to them, but I'm just saying, here, look at this, what I have for you, these pictures, supposedly, whatever. I bring up Google's images of Earth. I say, here, let me show you this and get your opinion on this. And I think I just basically leave it at that. And then they start asking me questions over time. Mike, what about this? Or what about that? And I said, well, here, why don't you think about this? The moon's transparent, okay? At least that's what we assume it is so far. So let's deal with that. And you tell me what your opinion is on that as you look at it in the night sky. And so they might get back to me on that. But in relation to my family, it's probably the hardest part for me because they don't want to talk about it. In relation to, I'm the only one in the family who does not have an education above grade 12, who does not have a diploma or a degree or an ego of some sort that I'm not aware of, which is good. 98% of my family are either educated or educators. My dad, my sister, her husband, and my cousins are all teachers within the universities or the high school level. And so it's really hard talking to them about it because they think they're
a bit of a wall, aren't they? Because they're in the system.
Yes, yes, exactly. They have their idea on what things are supposed to be like, supposedly, but they don't. And then again, they don't like talking about it. I keep giving my dad these ideas because he likes flying places. I'm like, Dad, when you're in the plane, please take that book you're reading out of your lap and literally throw it out the window. And while you throw it out the window, please look out that window at the flat horizon, because that's what you're going to see with your own two eyes. So if you're seeing that and you're telling me that you live on this cartoon ball, can you give me some examples? Can anybody give us any examples? And nobody can do that. And in relation to my godfather, this was just after I ran into Flat Earth, after about 6 months or so. I messaged him on Facebook. I said he used to be a journalist for CBC Corporation here. So he's educated from books. And so I gave him the idea of Flat Earth. His reply back to me was, Mike, we need to talk. I think you may have manic depression, and he was concerned about the way I was eating. So now I have an eating disorder. Just because I have a different opinion on something.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then he gives me the example like everybody else. He's like, he would give me the example because I used to drive semi all the time on the highways. He's like, well, Mike, when you drive your semi down the highway, you see it go over the curve. I'm like, okay, I am done. D-O-N-E, done. So I'm just like, no, I'm done. So I blocked him from Facebook. I don't talk to him anymore. We gather around for Christmas for supper. I did not even look him in the eye. I did not talk to him or his wife because I had last Christmas I had bought him the book, The Earth is, the Globe is a Lie, whatever that book is. I gave him that for Christmas last year. And not knowing that his wife threw the book out in the garbage the next day because she did not approve of that book. Or she said, my beliefs. We are not interested in your belief system, she said. She sent me a message on Facebook, which I neglected to look at for some reason. It was one of those ones that gets stuck up in the corner. So I opened that up like in the fall or something. And I lost my mind. I have never felt so small in my life before, she had told me never to show up at her house ever again, and that she threw out the book the day after Christmas or the day of Christmas, because we were the day before. And I phoned my sister. She could not even understand a word that was coming out of my mouth because I was so upset and crying. And it's unbelievable how people will not even.
Strange, like me. I'm a mother and I'm a daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
they trusted me to be their daughter, mother, friend, whatever it is, even my friends. And then you try and tell these people, and they look at you, and all this years where they've trusted you and been around you just goes out the window. And I tried to tell my mum, and she just said, "I know we're a ball. That's it. We're a ball. We're spinning, and I know we are. I know."
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
thinking, I couldn't even be bothered to try.
Yeah. I know it's really sad because even Mac Flat Earth Fokker was talking about this last night. He was talking about how people just like their minds. Like I always say, like I always carry a little jar of baby food around because I want to hand it out to all the zombies. Their food for the day, a little jar of baby food, because that's what their brains are made out of, mush. It's got to be mush, or the rope is tied too tight, or I don't know what it is, but the energy or the information cannot go through their heads properly, and they won't. It's like a brick wall or something.
Ask you something. Do you think
So,
you're quite an empathic person?
yeah, it's unbelievable how
It
it's
does
like me.
seem that those that
Yeah,
aren't empathic just
yeah,
are the zombies.
and I don't have when I listen to people and their opinions, I listen to them. I don't say, "Oh, whatever, you're such a loony bin." I would never say that to somebody. You need to listen to it, whether they think they saw a ghost or a UFO or whatever their story is, and we need to investigate that. Even though none of that stuff has been proven, but we still need to listen to them because maybe someday somebody might have some proof of a ghost. I don't know when it's ever going to happen, but maybe somebody might. So we have to look into that every time somebody says that, or UFOs or whatever the heck whatever, it's just crazy. I have a theory about the airplane they can't find too, the one that supposedly crashed. Which one was it? The in 2013 that crashed or supposedly crashed, went missing. A380 or whatever the heck that plane was.
Right.
Into relation to the UFOs, but they're not really UFOs, because some people were mentioning that they're coming from the other land masses that are beyond Antarctica, if that is a true story. I personally think that's where that plane went, because if there is other land, this is a crazy ass theory, of course. If there is other land, we have to populate it somehow. And maybe that's where that plane went, because it would have a huge amount of so-called fuel in it in the wings, because it was a really big plane, but it's all run off of energy anyway. So, but whatever. But yeah, that's my theory of where that plane went. But because of the way the flights travel, some of them go up and then down and then whatever direction they went.
I was telling you, I'm not saying they might not have changed things today, because they're using free energy planes now for sure. They always have been, but they're even better today.
Yeah.
I flew. Well, they out the window. They said that was Greenland, so we could see Greenland to the right, and then we flew to Bangor, Maine, which is, I said, just Canada America border, full of pine trees, and then you fly down.
Yeah, we're full of pine trees, that's for sure. It's and then again with the planes,
something then. This 35 degrees that you get, how long does that usually last?
I would say a month. Like it would range from, like, our summer temperatures would range from 20 degrees to 35, in between like May and September type of thing. And the hottest would be like July and August, like it could go 30, 35.
Well, that sounds sort of quite like English weather, except we don't necessarily get 35, but we were last year.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and then when it gets cold, it gets freaking ass cold. Like just north of here last week, I think it was like a few hours north of here, I think it was 55 or 52 or something below zero.
Oh my goodness. Do the people just live like it's just snow and everybody gets on, or is everybody cut off?
Yeah, no, life goes on here. It could snow 25 feet and be minus 14,000. We would go to work. We're crazy here. There's no such thing as a snow day here because the whole population of Saskatchewan would have to shut down. It snows for like 6 months out of the year. So nothing stops. If it snows a foot and a half of snow, it doesn't matter. Kids are going to school. We're going to work. We just get up and go. You know.
Do you know what? The imminent thing that a few flakes land and they say that it might snow. That's it. All the all the schools are shut here.
Yeah. No, life goes on here. It's interesting.
Because like I work at a college and we had a little bit of snow. Well, I was the only one that went in. None of the college had been in. None of the teachers. None of the students.
Yeah, for sure. There's I got on my list here too. I was going to talk about the lake. That's I think what is it? About 30-minute drive from here. It's we call the nickname is called Long Lake. It's Moose Mountain Lake. That's the name of it. It's just north of here, and it's 93 kilometers long. So whatever, about 55 miles or whatever it is, 50 miles. The lake is obviously frozen right now, and this is the perfect time. I would love to do a test, and I'm hoping to get that done over the next month or so before the snow melts. So it won't be melting for a long time, but at least to drive on it, because you can drive cars on it now, or maybe even half-ton trucks, or well, there are half-ton trucks, but you can drive on it. So I wouldn't have to drive all the way around the lake. Like it's like an hour and a half drive or 2-hour drive around the lake. So I'd rather just drive across the lake to make it, and I would film that live, and I'm so anxious to do that. I don't know if it's going to be done this winter.
Well, that's what people do.
But yeah, I would love to do a test, a distance test with my Nikon P900, and get one of the folks there who own a cottage just with like a portable sun with a really bright light, or a torch or a flashlight or whatever you want to do. Turn your car on, let it run for an hour. I want to do a test on there. That would be spectacular. Get like a 20-kilometer test. I'm sure I could do it even further. It's so like, it's almost like as they call the term in golf, dog's leg to the left, but it's just kind of at an angle. And from here to here is like 80 kilometers. And then it turns off to the right, which goes longer. But yeah, it's just freaking, it goes forever. And and it's only about I don't know how wide it is. I think it's only 1.5 miles wide or so, but it just goes forever, and I'd love to get a test done on that lake at some point.
Can I ask you, is there other parts of Canada which don't get hot like you, or don't you know, because it's quite new and you're just doing your research now?
Don't get hot?
Is there other parts of Canada that
I would say I can't pronounce it properly. It's Nunavut, I think is the correct term. Like way up in that's where the Eskimos type people are still. Like they're eating seals and stuff, just basically eating off the land, like the Inuit type of people. That's way far north. That's what I would call the North Pole. So I don't know where this even North Pole is, because I think it's non-existent, truthfully, because you've got Northwest Territories north of where I live, and anything further north of that is the Antarctic Arch, the ice field, or whatever the heck you want to call it. There's nothing there other than a little bit of population of the Inuit people. So other than that, I don't know what the North Pole is, because there's people already there. I don't know how far more north you can go until you reach the other side of the plane. So I don't know where you would go after that. It's show me the North Pole. I don't know where it is. Like now that I've been on the show this afternoon, you're actually making me think about what's up there now, because other than ice and the Eskimos, I would consider that the North Pole. Like I don't know how.
Are there any trees up there?
Yeah. Are there what? Oh, trees?
Trees.
Trees. In Saskatchewan, there, northern Canada, I would say yes, until you probably reach basically ice, I think. But it's we've got lots of trees here, lots of trees. But anything north of, I don't know what the the numbers are for the.
Canada's huge, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's, well, yeah. According to the numbers again, and you always got to look that up on. I was showing my friends that the other day on Google, the square kilometers of Canada, and I was showing them in relation to it's 9.9 million square kilometers. So Canada supposedly is. Then if you go to square kilometers of Australia. So then now you've got square kilometers of Australia, 7.6 million kilometers. And Canada is like 3 times the size of Australia on the map, or at least double the size. So where's these other square kilometers? Like Australia is like that big on the map. Canada is like, like, it's funny. Where do they get these? Like, I don't know what's real or not anymore. You know?
Yeah,
like
same as
like there's the size of Australia. That's supposed to be 2 million square kilometers smaller than Canada, which is, enormous.
And do you know something? My son, being that he's been to Australia the whole time he was there, because obviously we live on a small place, he was going, all he kept saying to me was, Mum, you just don't understand how big Australia is. That's all he kept saying to me. Yeah, but Mum, you just don't understand how big it is here. And you're saying it's a smidgen compared to you. So it's hard to sort of put that into perspective, isn't it? How big everything is. And
yeah, I think all the, like, even I go to an Italian restaurant here in my city, and they have the map of Italy up on the ceiling or the wall or whatever. And I said to my buddy Mike, his name is Mike too, and I said, look at that map of Italy in relation to a map of Italy in a book or on a globe or in another book. It's all different. For one time it looks like a high heel from a lady's boot, then it looks like a snow boot in the next map, and then who knows what it looks like in the next picture. Every continent is different in every book, so, or in every picture we see. So what exactly does anything look like where we live? Does Canada even look like the way it's supposed to look? I doubt it, because we don't get the proper images of anything. So I just go with, whatever. It could look like a cookie cutter. I don't know. Maybe it looks like a cookie. North America looks like a cookie, I guess. I don't know. Or a sandwich cut out of in 2 pieces. I don't know. Like, it could look like anything. We don't know. We just know that we're supposed to go east and maybe is that direction.
Where you are in Canada, have you noticed any pyramids?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mounds.
That's a very good question. Yeah. I drove all over Western Canada when I drove truck. Now you're gonna get me looking.
You have a lot of ancient, like, history, like
pyramids.
Like
Pyramids.
Stone circle.
Right. Well, Saskatchewan, and then when you go east is Manitoba. Like when I say flat, it's as flat as this phone. Like, the only hills we got are the ones that were made here by us, or like there's no hills. Like, there's little hills like further south of my city, but they're just like rolling hills. There's nothing that you would. What the heck? And then, like I said, there's a city east of me, 550 kilometers, I think, give or take. And if you, like I said, if there was even like if they ever invented a P3000, I'm sure we could see that city with that camera. If we had a P3000, like with a 4,000 millimeter zooming lens, I'm sure we could see the glow from that city. That's how flat it is here in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. It is unbelievably flat. Even when I'm coming in from the south side of my city, or even the city over. Like, I'm serious. Even just the slightest elevation on the highway, when you're going up, you're like, now you can see for like literally 40 or 50 kilometers. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. You can see that with your naked eye. You're like, is that tower from Highway 1? And you're like, it can't be. But you're looking at it with your own eyes. Even 20 kilometers, you can see with your own eyes. And I'm just like, oh. You're like, oh, that hurts my brain to even think about it. Why am I?
Have you watched a lot of Enslaved by No Media?
Enslaved by No Media. Yes, a little bit of it. Yes.
How things further away look bigger than when they're closer. I mean, that's a bit mind-boggling, isn't it? It's all that.
Sure, yeah, yeah. And then again, you're always, even at my point right now, now that we're so awake, you're like, when you see something in the far distance, you're thinking, okay, now, is that thing really that big, or what's going on here? Like, why am I seeing it? And what's the distance? And is that distance the actual distance? If it's 30 or 40 kilometers away, is that the correct mileage, of that distance, And it's amazing. Like, you just going over an overpass, just going that 40 or 50 feet in the air over an overpass or a bridge, you go up and you're like, whoa, let's stop the car here for a sec, because I can see so much now than I couldn't. And it's only 50 feet elevation, and you can see for like forever, literally forever. I can go to the city, which is called Moose Jaw. There's a long story for that crazy ass name. It's about, before you get to the overpass north of the city, it's about 70 kilometers. You can go up on that overpass, which is west of my city. You can look back at the glow, or even, I think you can even see the lights from my city yet. And that's 70 kilometers away. And with a P900, I'm sure you can zoom in on the buildings. And I'm not joking, because I've seen it. And I need to do that test yet too. At 70 kilometers, you can see the next city.
Well, all these people that put their thumbs up or do stupid stuff haven't used their camera and done the same things, have they? And that's, you knew it anyway, but then you know it through your camera.
Yeah, for sure.
I just ask you, are you in a huge town where you are? Is there a lot of people?
It's about 200,000 people. It's not too big.
That's quite big, though.
It's not big in relation to Calgary. They have 1 million people there.
As a whole, then, because obviously that's how I knew where you came from. That I knew where you came from because on the phone when you went a boat, and that's Canadian when they go a boat. Yeah.
What's the question?
Well, what's generally like? Like, obviously, we know America's one of the biggest flat Earth places, and then England's, seemingly quite big, and then it seems that there's dotted over Europe, and then Australia's got a bit there. So, what's it like in Canada as a whole?
Well, like as a whole, as a group as a community of Canada type of thing?
Yeah, like is there lots of people into flat Earth or?
Well, like I said before, like when I'm driving around, I do get a lot of people. Well, no, I wouldn't say a lot. I would say 50-50, but more leaning towards the thumbs up of when they read the stuff on the car, they give me the thumbs up. The people that
I suppose really, Mikey, if you basically have got all this land that you have to, most people would have gone up on, like you said, that 40-50 feet loads of times and just gone, every day they're looking at it.
Yeah, but I think again, like they got that knot in their head, because even they say that Saskatchewan is flat, they don't think about what they just said. They're like, okay, well, if this entire province is flat, like Kansas, how does that work on a ball? On anything east of the mountains in the United States of America is called the plains. So now you've got like 2,000 kilometers of plain, and nobody thinks about it. So if you're driving east of the mountains to New York over a plains, what where are these people's minds? Like, if I'm driving for 2,000 kilometers over a plane, at what point am I going over the curve, whatever way the curve is? You know, it's the same thing when you're flying in an airplane. There's no dipping of anything. You know, like nobody critically thinks about anything. Yes, I say my province is flat. End of story. But then they don't go on with that and think, oh shit, I was taught I was living on a ball. So, you know, how do you have all these flat places on a ball? Like, did we hit the golf ball with a hammer in certain points, or, you know, is somebody stand on the orange in the wrong direction, or what's the deal here? Or maybe we're working for Tesla and we're living on that egg in their CGI crap. You know.
Can I ask you something else? Like in the UK, right? Generally, if you were going to take a temperature of, say, the top of Scotland and the temperature of the bit where, you know, the channel to France, the weather and temperatures are always going to be warmer down in the south than they are the north, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what it's like in Canada?
No, that's a good question too. Our warmer weather is on the coasts. So if I need to go to warmer weather, I need to go to BC, to Vancouver, where I'm going next week, or way east out to Newfoundland. Then, but I don't think it would be warmer there too. Like it would be like, you know, hovering around the 0 degree mark or above zero. It wouldn't dip below zero much. But as you come closer to the center of Canada, like, or in the western part of Canada, like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, that's where it gets cold. Just in those two provinces, you could easily see minus 40, 45. And I remember even, like I said before, even 10 years ago, I remember the temperature dropping down to minus 53. And at that temperature, you can drop an egg onto a frying pan, and it will look like it's being fried in that frying pan because it will literally freeze white as it's being supposedly fried in that pan, but it's being frozen that quickly.
So you said it stays warmer on the outside. Is it much warmer on the outer bits than the middle bit?
Yeah, yes. And it doesn't do that as you go south. Like you would have to go into the States, into central United States in order to get warm weather. You know, it would still be cold in Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana. You know, it'd still be cold there. I don't think as cold, but it would be cold, you know, minus 20s, you know. And then you'd go further south to, like, you know, wherever, obviously Phoenix or Arizona somewhere, you know.
Yeah, sort of hard to imagine really when we're a tiny island.
Yes, and I'm always trying to figure out that too, how the weather works too, because of the directions things are too. Like if I went east, it's still going to be cold, but then if you go directly south of the Great Lakes of Ontario, you run into where Maryland lives, and it's warm there still. I'm like, okay, but Minnesota's not too far from there, and they're still getting a foot of snow, and it's cold there. So how does it instantly just automatically start warming up? I don't know if it's due to the oceans. It could be because of that, but I don't know. It's got to be something in the air, or I can't figure out how that.
We have somebody, he comes and puts messages. He's not so much into actually doing hangouts, but he's called Light and Dog. And he did a version of, basically, it's another kind of electricity in the water that we can handle getting into, but that causes the currents. It's just a different kind of electricity current. And then when he did it on his model, you can see all the sea moving, like in his model, all the oceans. You can see it.
Okay. Yeah.
It may happen that way. Maybe just a different form of electricity, natural electricity, that's working and creating these tides and stuff. If you go on our channel and just put Light and Dog, you'll find some of his stuff. He's very good.
Okay, cool.
He's got some good ideas. Even if you don't agree with everything, he's got some good ideas.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's where we're at, though, isn't it, really? But I'm a bit flabbergasted. See, we don't talk enough as a people to know what even, like, we're all going, oh, well, yes, Australia's in the southern hemisphere and we're in the northern, and everybody's talking like that. But you start talking to Brett in Australia, how different it is, and the kind of, to get hot weather, the sun has to be low in the sky. But for us to get hot weather, it has to be high in the sky. His has to be south, ours has to be north. You've just told me, very interesting, how cold it is in the centre, but obviously the seas, doesn't it? Temperature helps keep it a bit warmer, but it's a lot warmer, yeah, at the seas or the coast.
Yeah. There's probably a 30-degree temperature, if not more, difference. Yeah, easily.
So really, they don't get snow and they don't get all that.
Pardon?
They don't get all the snow and they get much nicer weather.
BC is kind of different because of the mountains. But Vancouver, like, they just got snow the other day. But it like, that's a rare thing for them. Like, people where I'm from, we kind of make fun of people from Vancouver because they don't know how to deal with ice or snow. They always get in car accidents and stuff. And so that's what they're dealing with right now. But it generally kind of, like I said, it hovers around the 0 or 5 degrees or 10 degrees, at least on the Celsius part of it, the side of it. They, and then again, like, I don't know if it, because of the mountains, block some of that weather or what, but just as you leave the mountains, that weather could easily drop to -20 quite fast, or even -30. And then as you travel further east to Saskatchewan and Manitoba, it just get colder and colder, -40, 45. And then as you get into Ontario, Eastern Canada, it'll start to warm up gradually. But right in the center is where that freaking ass cold air is. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I've really enjoyed you telling us about that, Mikey. I really like, because it's like, it's just learning more about the place we live. I mean, I'm quite shocked at how much the temperatures change and the light changes in such a small place. Like, I'm telling you, if you did the Shetland Islands to where I am, it'd be a pinprick to where you live, yet they can see the midnight sun and we can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there's something about, I don't know, I say the Big Dipper goes around my house.
Uh-huh.
And Polaris is almost in the middle.
Oh, you can see Polaris from your place?
Yeah. And all really? The stars go around, not round, like a circle. They go around. Well, the Big Dipper goes around bends. It bends and twists around the corners.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember how ours goes. I think it's there. Yeah, I think it basically just rotates around us. I can't remember if it's in the southern. I know it's in the northern.
Maybe you can check one night, because a lot of people don't even realise that the bucket's one way this way and then it goes right up in the sky. It looks like someone got a hammer and went chink, the whole thing would fall down on you. It's absolutely enormous up in the sky. Yeah. And then it twists and it does things and it goes around another bend and whoa.
Yeah, the stars, I'll never figure out those things. I'll just it's weird how they do their patterns. That's for sure.
Well, we've been going, you remember I said that I would say when we've been going an hour and a half. We have been going an hour and a half. I just wondered if you wanted to explain a bit more about your car and the billboard and.
I guess I could. More or less the channel, so people know the channel. It's Mikey Smith, horizontally opposed. Again, I'm David from Flat Earth 101's. He's the guy who sent me the banners for the car. They are up on the car. I didn't even show anybody any pictures yet. And so as of right now, I put the billboard up on the car every second or third day. I'm not going to be able to do it until the weekend now because I got to work tomorrow and Friday. But yeah, my deal for next week, leaving on the 22nd, I'm going to drive to Vancouver, which is an 18-hour drive. I'm going to spend the weekend there, do some street activism on the way there, obviously, and just looking for a little tiny support from the Flat Earthers to maybe support me on the way there, just helping out with gas because I'm not working much. And obviously, I'll be keeping the receipts for the fuel and the gas and stuff. and do the meetup with Flat Earth Fokker. That would just be spectacular. Having 2 YouTube channels going at the same time. I'm going to meet up with another buddy of mine. He's in BC, in Chase, BC. He is a Concerned Citizen. That's his YouTube channel. And he's another street activist in BC. And just have an awesome, spectacular time when I get to BC with Mac. And go from there when I get there. And have a great time going there and back. Just trying to flat smack everybody whoever I can. And here's a picture of the billboard on top of the car. And I got NASA
How long
Live.
did that take you to set that up on the car?
Oh, like maybe a minute and a half.
I think you get off it then.
I got it down pat now. I have to carry it down 3 flights of stairs. I have it downstairs right now, but I think it upsets my landlord. But when I do keep it up in my apartment, I have to carry it up and down 3 flights of stairs. But there's the other window there, NASA Lies. And so yeah, when I go to Vancouver, I'm gonna reconfigure the billboard because that's not really aerodynamic for the highway. I'm not sure how it's gonna do at highway speeds, so I'm gonna reconfigure that and make sure it doesn't go flying
yeah, you don't want to break it on the way there, do you? Anything flies off the car.
Yeah. due to the centrifugal force of the spinning ball, that damn spinning ball that made my banner fly off.
And then what you're going to do? Spend 2 or 3 days a week driving around with that on your car anyway.
Yeah, it'll be it's an 18-hour drive. I'll probably add on another 5 or 6 hours to that, just stopping in different cities on the way there and visiting with the other guy there, probably the Friday morning in his hometown for a bit, and then cruise on to spend the rest of the weekend with Mac, Flat Earth Fokker, and have a great time there and have a few meetings there with other flat earthers. And we're going to drive around too when I get there because he's all excited about the billboard. We're going to drive around through Vancouver and go to different schools, like I'm going to be doing eventually too. He wants to go to schools and, just wake. It's going to be fun. Wake everybody up,
Well, it's been really nice meeting you, Mikey.
Yeah, for sure.
Really enjoyed this hangout. It's been really great fun, and I've really enjoyed also listening to the different kind of what's happening in Canada, the whole thing. That's really good.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice coming on and nice for people to join in the chat. And it's a big long I don't know what you want to call it, a fight for the truth for us, but I know we're going to come out on top. We've just got to get more people talking out on the street. And I don't care. Take the freaking ridicule from the people because we know we're right. This is not an opinion of ours on flat earth. This is where we live, a flat earth. And the people who cannot accept it are going to be upset, be angry, not be they don't want the truth or want to know the truth, whatever it is. Take the ridicule and keep moving. I don't care if you want to call me Baldy, Mr. Clean, whatever the heck you want to call me. Call me a retard. I know the truth, and you're going to have to deal with it. And that's what we have to do. I don't care. Just say whatever you want. They're only words. You're going to be eating your own words when you know the truth at the end of everything. When we all die, they're going to be like, shit, those flat earthers, damn, they're smart people. They're going to be like, I wish I listened to those people.
I wish I listened to my son, daughter, friend.
Yes, exactly. And I know the government's panicking. I know they're panicking.
It's a really weird thing though. Have you found though, like there are other things to talk about which you can talk about, but you mentioned flat earth and it's like it's like they could kill you.
Yeah, I know it's that bad. It's crazy. I was at my sister's for her birthday a week ago or so, and she's telling me this story about her son. My nephew is only like 2.5 years old, and she said the word planet twice. He's acting like he was saying, "Oh, he's so crazy," and he's like the craziest kid on the planet or something like that. I'm like, oh, can you just not use that word, please? That word to me is like a swear word. You might as well say the worst swear word in the word and then say planet beside it. And planet would be worse than calling somebody an F and F and F and F and, it's that bad to me. Do not say the word
It's a
planet.
bit of an insult, isn't it? Because basically,
Yeah, it's an insult because
it's plain.
it's a word that does not make sense. You say the word planet, so then, okay, well, let's feed me some information where you think this ball exists. Like, oh, they're delusional. They are.
The word plain and put a T on it, so it's even more of an insult.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They actually use the word plain.
Yeah, or an S. Put an S on it and call it planes.
Yeah, it's
really
strange
bad.
place to be, isn't it, guys? There's so many of us who've woken up, and there's so many who are quiet.
Yeah.
And yet, in a sense, even though Flat Earth is growing, conventions, meetups, etc., like that, we are still definitely all going globe, aren't we?
There was one guy too. It was the other day. I kept forgetting. I should have passed over my number or pulled him over. This guy was driving down beside me with a half-ton truck, and we stopped at a light, or I think it was a light. And he rolled down the window. He says, "Oh yeah, these guys, they're all sleeping. They're all zombies." And I'm like, "Holy shit, man!" I was like, "Wow, you're cool." So I passed over a pamphlet as we were driving, and I should have passed over my number to him, because there are, like I said, there are people that know about flat Earth, and they agree with you 100%. Like I said, we need to talk more. We're not talking enough. I know a lot of us get kind of shell shock or afraid of talking or opening our mouths, even at a restaurant, to the waitress, to the person standing next door to us in Walmart or whatever store we're shopping at. We need to literally blah, 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 flat Earth, just literally talk out loud wherever we are, whether we're buying a bag of milk or filling up for gas. Just yell it out in the middle of the gas, in the gas tanks, and people talk to me all the time because I've got it written on my car. I don't even have to talk. They come to me. What's this NASA Live stuff? Well, they use Photoshop and CGI. See you later. Enjoy that one for a while, and that's all I have to do to them. Now I've got them thinking, and they see my car everywhere I go. It's all over the internet right now. So I've done my job, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get to Vancouver, and thousands of people are going to see me on the way there. And
it's more than just thinking, though, isn't it, Mikey? It's actually that we know.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah. Well, and I hate when people say, "Oh, this guy believes that the Earth is flat." No, I don't believe. But don't see, now you're swearing again. First you said planet, now you said believe. Stop swearing. Those are swear words to me. I don't believe. There is no ball. The only ball there is the basketball, the soccer ball that I'm kicking down the street. It is.
People don't seem to realize that if you run some spinning ball, it'd be like on this most horrific roller coaster ride of our lives.
Yes.
Planes wouldn't be able to land. Oh, anyway, it just goes on and on. You have to do, someone in the chat room, James, he's asking, he doesn't get any of this, but really you have to do your own research. And just for James, on Sun and Moon, paused astronauts. It was supposed to be Boeing's first trip outside, so it was live, and one of the astronauts is paused.
Oh, James Bird, yes. He was on my channel the other day. Hello, James. Where is my friend Patricia from Minneapolis? James is a good person. I'm going to leave it at that. But he does need help, yes. He is a troll with a capital T. Yes.
Yeah, well, James, you're not changing the subject in the hangout, I'm afraid. We're talking flat Earth, and on this channel, that's exactly what we do, or things in flat Earth. Well, everything is flat Earth, so we can talk about everything, but it's not the way you've been taught. And the wake up can be as simple as like the emperor's clothing, you know?
See,
The emperor pretending to wear clothes and he's not. Education's a lie. Medication's a lie. Everything's a lie. Our history's a lie. We're not spinning. We're not.
well,
We're at some kind of space.
his comment is space is fake. Why? Because you say so? No, because it is. If you can provide real photos or video footage of space being real, rather than using a blue screen or a green screen, then you can come and talk on the channel.
Just to say to James as well, a P900 can only see so far in focus, and if the sun and the moon are in focus in it, or the stars are, it just shows you how close everything is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he says, well, the P900 only focuses so far. Okay, well, then if it only focuses so far, why are we taking video footage of stars that look like they're in water? So I guess it only focuses so far, but that's far enough for me. What does he want us to focus out into the darkness of space? That doesn't exist. Oh,
and I'm going to upset him now. We were talking about Enslaved by No Media, who reckons that they're lying about all the distances and everything. So when they say a plane is 7 miles up, it's not. It's only about 3.5 miles. When they say something is 10 miles away, in reality, it's only about 5. And then, yeah, so basically, Martin Leakey reckons, what is it? We've only been 8 miles down. We can probably only go 8 miles up. The sun, the moon, the stars are in an enclosed system in that. So there you go. There's no such thing as space.
No, not even close.
And yeah, I should look at James. Go and watch the time-lapse photographs of NASA's rockets. You will always see it starting to go up, but they always come down. How can it come down if it can't? Yeah.
They just turn into airplanes.
Time-lapse photography of NASA rockets taking off. They always come down because they can't go into space.
Here's this. And James, you need to go to my YouTube video where I phoned. Let me check here. What's his name? Mike J. Smith. Mike J. Smith, the old astronaut that supposedly blew up on the internet on one of the rockets on the launches. He currently works at where does he work here? He works at the I phoned him there on my YouTube channel. He works at the the University of Wisconsin. He is currently alive and well because I have phoned him and left messages, and the receptionists know who he is. He is currently alive.
They've done something because when I was younger, I remember, like loads do, Nelson Mandela dying, and then in that one, Winnie Mandela got everything. So because she was still married to him, but of course he then became president after dying, and then divorced Willie Mandela, and she got nothing. So they've managed to do that, and they're managing to do this that way. So that's how they do it. They somehow, I think what we've discovered today is that, you know, James can say what he wants in whatever, but we've just been talking about Canada and how different the weather is there, and the fact that most people won't know that it gets to 35 degrees where Mikey is, and so on like that. This is what's not happening, this kind of communication. Everybody thinks they know it because they're watching television.
Yeah. So does your friend Patricia not want to say anything, or is she just going to listen?
Patricia did say she was very tired today. She was there at the beginning. I don't know if she's there, but she sometimes just stays very quiet and just listens in, because
for sure.
at the time she's pressed the button, so she just listens in. She might have nodded off. She's very tired. Patricia's quite disabled, really, so she does really well to help and be on all these hangouts. So so she sometimes has to sleep. She just gets very tired. But yeah, we've been going for nearly 2 hours now. Do you think that's
Yeah, well,
stop?
I think I'm about almost done too. I don't have any much to talk about, but
It's been, what do you mean? We've just spent 2 hours talking.
well, I'm all out of chit chatty, I think.
It was really great. It was nice to meet you. It was nice to talk.
Yeah, it's nice to see the people. And
it's amazing that we conquered Canada, the size of Canada, isn't it? We're like a blip.
Yeah, yeah. According to all the Americans, that's where all the cold weather comes from. But see, the funny thing is, when I go to the States, I think the weather people down there, they're not aware of the country Canada, because supposedly all the weather comes from the north. They don't know what to call it. They just call it the north. Oh, we've got this big Arctic pressure coming down from the north. Okay, hello, it's called Canada. I live there. There are no igloos. It's really bad mind perception, because they need to educate themselves more than what's local. Like there's more than the United States of America. There's more of, there's more
of the world.
People. Yeah, there's more wonderful people here.
Actually, I've got a question to ask you as you're here. This sun, which you said for you just goes in a straight line. It doesn't for me, but it doesn't go in a circle either, not that I see. Is it high in the sky generally, or quite low in the sky?
In the summer, it is very high. It's basically above my head. In the winter, it gets down really low, really, really low. Right now, it's kind of, I would say, at the midpoint of being to the highest point, I would say, almost. Maybe in another week, it'll be at halfway point and then go further, towards the 1 o'clock position by June, type of thing.
And in the summer, obviously you're the same, that in the winter you get a lot less. How many hours light do you get in the winter? How many hours light do you get in the summer?
It's usually dark. January is the darkest. It gets dark by like 5 o'clock at night, and then the sun won't rise until about 9 in the morning. But in the summer, it's totally opposite. It'll be like you said, 3:30 in the morning. It'll be bright out in the morning, and then the sun won't set in at night until like 9:30 or 10.
9:30 or 10.
Yeah. So there's only a period of like.
And what you saying? It's taken till January to get to its darkest, or you mean December, the equinox?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it still gets darker after Christmas, because
yeah, it's darker after Christmas.
I can't be right. Maybe I'm losing my marbles. No, it would have to start to get lighter. Maybe I just don't notice it. But yeah, because the sun's literally way far away, like it's almost on the ground on the south. That's how low it is in the horizon. Like the circle's way, way too far for me to even tell. And then it takes forever to come up, to make the circle tighter. And then it's kind of like, if I was gonna point to it, it'd be almost at a 2 o'clock position. Like if I look directly south, I would call it a 2 o'clock position. And right over my head would be 12 o'clock position, and then by June it'll be at like 10 or 9.
Did it actually go over your head, the sun?
I think it would be pretty much above me, I think, in the summer. I think pretty close. Maybe 1 o'clock position, I would say. Yeah. Or maybe noon, maybe 12.
Yeah, I'd say 1 to 2 o'clock position. But it comes across it always comes from the north. Like we're talking about the summer when it comes up north. It'll come from the north, it'll go south. When it comes at an angle, stop, and then it goes on this other track.
Mm-hmm.
It's always heading for the track past my house.
Yeah. Okay.
Weird that, isn't it?
Yes, very weird. Yeah.
Anyway, on that weird note, thank you so much, Mikey, again. Thank you so much, chat room. Second time lucky. And Mikey, it'd be good to chat to you again. And
yeah, for sure.
You go on your trip across to Vancouver.
Yeah, Western Canada anyways. Yeah, 18-hour drive, but we'll get her done, hopefully.
You could very quickly in Canada. Do more people drive on the plane?
Pardon?
In Canada, do people drive more or do they get on a plane?
Lots of them fly because they want to go to warmer destinations. Yeah.
No, mate. If you're going to travel around in Canada, do most people drive or do they go on a plane?
Yeah. That's a good question. Probably fly. Our distances between cities is quite vast. For somewhat, like Calgary. If I wanted to go to Alberta, Calgary would be 7.5 hour drive. That's not the closest city. The closest city to me would be Moose Jaw, which is like a 45-minute drive, and then another one would be like 2.5 hour drive. And there's another city north of me that's like 4 hour drive. If I wanted to go to the East Coast, like Toronto, that would be like a 2-day drive, and that would be like driving like 12-hour days.
I tell you what, you'll have to notice when you go to Vancouver where the sun's coming up and setting to where you come from.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good. Anyway, like I say, thanks very much, Mikey. Thank you so much, chat room.
Yeah. Thanks.
We're back
Awesome.
on Thursday. On Thursday, we have... Well, we're on with Owen and Trouble About. That's who we're on Thursday. What's today? Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, so Thursday we're on with Owen and Trouble. We're having a bit of an Aussie night and catch up. So we'll see you all tomorrow. And thanks, Patricia, and thank you so much, Mikey. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for tuning.
Bye, everybody.
Keep it flatty.
It is.